Holy hell, this was painful. Okay, so this was a top 100 Guild War. It was oh so tons and tons of fun, and I went into this basically noticing almost every single tower has some injury shenanigans, and quite frankly, I don't even want to play that game. So the first thing and foremost that I wanted to do is, hey, how do I guarantee turn 1? Oh, I know, bring the fastest person in the game, Zio. We'll push back the Urban Shadow Choux, and then we'll just straight up kill it with Midnight Gala Lilias. And now, we're at the mercy of RNG. So, I had a couple of other Guild War, or just guildies, who went into this also with Knockwall. Now, that looked like a really, really good idea, because when you go in with Knockwall, then as soon as you kill the Urban Shadow Choux, you'll also have, Knockwall's S3. This will prevent any and all of this bullshit that you're seeing now, because, hey, Navy Captain Landy, I'm just gonna, high roll on all that good shit, and I'm gonna fucking salvo you every single time. And if you use Knockwall and you apply, Seal, which if you have a mage on your team with, a book, that is a guaranteed 100% ignore effect resist seal that you can, or not seal, but bind that you can put on them. Now, the biggest reason why I didn't want to do that, and also the other reason why I can't do that, is because my Knockwall is utter fucking dog shit, and, hey, I don't have speed gear. LOL, what's speed gear? All of my good speed stuff is on non-speed sets. Whoops! So, either way, looking at this footage now, you're just seeing a lot of crazy good luck. If we had missed numerous times or just straight up didn't get any crits whatsoever on the Navy Captain Landy, eventually the Navy Captain Landy would then eventually, just straight up kill us, because her S3 does a lot of damage. She probably wouldn't have killed the Lilias, but the Lilias would have been stunned, all that kind of shit. And Roana can only really deal with counterattacks and extra attacks for so long. Thankfully for us, we went on ahead and we pushed through. So let's move on to the next one. So here is another example of me just over-preparing for, single situations. So we're dealing with Urban Shadow... We're actually dealing with Unbound Knight Arowell, Savior Adin, and Winter. However, there is one thing in particular that this team has that I knew going in that you don't really see very often. This Savior Adin is on injury. So the main thing looking at that now is you can't go into this with a Dark Corvus. If you were to go into this with a Dark Corvus, you're dealing with Unbound Knight Arowell and you're dealing with Savior Adin. Both of those units are going to be going into your DC. Your DC is going to be taking a metric fucking shitload of fucking injury, and that would probably affect you so negatively, you may not be able to actually kill the Savior Adin. Fortunately for us, we knew going in, one of my guildies actually warned me about it. Hey, this is an injury one, don't go in with Dark Corvus, because that's apparently what he did, and he lost because of it. So then I decided to go in with Briar, which is Iseria, but then I vastly overestimated my damage without having attack buff, mind you. So no attack buff, going in with a full S3, and I also happen to have a book, so hey, cool, I was able to actually hit everybody and apply, Death Down and Unbuffable. However, you didn't do enough damage, so we ended up not doing enough to really kill. So we have Milim here, basically just to fight the Winter, but because we were fighting the Winter and we also had Briar, which is Iseria, we didn't really need Milim here. We could have probably just switched her out for any other unit. Now, what you probably just saw was my only win condition at that particular moment. I was realizing it a while ago, oh fuck, I brought way too much stuff into this to fight just Winter. And my win condition was, if I do not hit the Savior Adin with, the Dragon Buster, I straight up fucking lose. Thankfully for us, we were able to hit it, and then we just kind of move on. Boy, just one match in, and we've already lost a lot of units. This is fun! Well, thankfully for us, we're also dealing with very, very similar teams up here in the next little bit. So hey, here's Conqueror, Lilias, Senya, and then a Mort. Don't really see Mort all too often on defense, and straight up, I don't even really know what this Mort is. I do know that he's on Holy Sack, just in post, which is a little bit weird to me, but like, hey, I did make one mistake right here on a head. I tried to go into the Mort just to see if I could actually kill it with, like, you know, an S3 and then an S2 follow-up with Benimaru. We don't kill it. So it's like, oh, okay, so the next time if I fight this team again, I'm just going to straight up go into the Conqueror Lilias, and then more than likely get Death Break on her, and then we'll go ahead and kill her. Whatever. We'll deal with this as we deal with it throughout going through. So we have Hwayoung with us as well. We have attack buff, and the Senya is an annoying unit. We don't really want to deal with her. So we'll just take her out of the game because Triple Torrent set Hwayoung will fucking kill about any green, like, thick unit in the game. And the other thing that was kind of interesting is because we're rocking Moon Bunny, everybody had skill null and barriers and immunity. So that one big S3 from Mort did quite literally nothing. And here is where we see the first Holy Sack. So, I probably am not the correct person to, like, really give critique on a team or whatever, especially because this is a top 100 guild. But me, personally, I feel like Mort on Holy Sack kind of isn't worth it, because as soon as you kill a Mort, you're more than likely going to kill him while he was enraged. And then after he comes back, then he's no longer enraged, and you might have to wait a little bit longer to get your S3 back, so he's just kind of like sitting there chilling. And if I see him more, I'm probably not going to even really be playing with crit at all. I'm probably going to be going in with stuff that either auto crits or stuff that does not need to crit to kill him. And that's just my own perspective on that. So here is something right here. The initial plan was to go into this with Martial Artist Ken, Midnight Gala Lilias, and then Maid Chloe, and I was supposed to go in with Midnight Gala Lilias before the Ocean Breeze Luluca went. Now, because Ocean Breeze Luluca went first, this actually fucks everything up. So now we can't cleanse with the Maid Chloe yet because we haven't been hit with any debuffs, and then here comes the Ice Cream Truck. So that was the main problem here, and the reason why this fucks up my plans is because I'm not rocking a good I'm not rocking a good, like, ML Ken. My ML Ken has no ER because I'm a fucking retarded hack. But if I was to be, you know, playing smart, I would have a lot more crit damage. Well, no, I actually have max crit damage on my ML Ken. He just has no ER, and he has, like, no real defensive capabilities. So don't build ML Ken like that. Build him to be, like, an absolute brick shithouse wall. Lots of attack, lots of HP, fairly decent amount of defense, and probably, like, 100 or so ER. I didn't do that, but hey, good news for us. We were able to hit all of the hits that we needed to on the Navy Captain Landy. The Navy Captain Landy didn't high roll enough times to, like, really go into us really too terribly. And Shazam, the team is dead. Hey, didn't work out quite as expected, but hey, works for me. Fuck. Now here we go with, like, pretty much the same team that we fought last time, except now instead of Senya, he brought Navy Captain Landy in with him instead. Same rules are going to be applying here. We're going to use Benimaru, we're going to go into the Conqueror Lilias, hopefully we land a Death Break. Shazam, we do. And then with that, we'll kill with the S2. This absolutely should kill. There's no fucking reason you should ever survive that. Hooray! We looking good now. So the reason why that works extremely well is because, hey, Conqueror Lilias takes 2 turns. Now she no longer has crit resist because she took those 2 turns at the start of the fight. Ain't that just fucking genius? And then we go in with Hwayoung S3. I've tested this numerous times, like in the past. A Hwayoung S3 with attack buff more than likely will kill about any Navy Captain Landy. If the Navy Captain Landy is, like, higher than 15 to 17k HP, it will more than likely kill. I think this one was, like, in the 17k ranges or something like that. I can't quite remember, but it was a typical Navy Captain Landy. So now we just have to deal with Mort, and we have 2 red units that are going to him. Sure, he has crit resist, and anytime he crits Moon Bunny, which he absolutely should, because it's the only unit that he can even go in against. He already did it once, but, like, yeah, whenever he activates his S2, which is anytime he crits you with his S1, he'll give himself, well, actually, he'll give the whole fucking party crit resist, and he'll also give himself speed buff, I believe. But hey, thankfully for us, we had more than enough overwhelming red firepower to go into him that we were able to kill him twice. Now, here is where we attempt to do something a little bit fucking special. So we're going to go in with Ahmed to absolutely guarantee our turn here. Thankfully, we were able to outspeed the first turn because a lot of Urban Shadow Shoes are really, really fast. So we go ahead and throw the S3 buff onto Coli here. To those of you who may or may not remember, Coli had received buffs a long-ass time ago when Hwayoung was really, really broken. She will effect resist pierce on whoever is red that she's hitting with her S3. She will guarantee like a bomb and a bleed with her S3. Then she will also CR boost herself to the top, and then you can use your S2 to detonate those stacks. I was hoping it would kill the Illynav in one hit. Didn't, but it did more than enough damage to where, like, hey, lol, she's pretty much at 1 HP. So we'll just go in, kill her there. Now, here was where I was expecting to at least kill this Urban Shadow Shoe with one shot. Unfortunately, that was a Proof of Valor Urban Shadow Shoe. Honestly, kind of smart on his part, because if Urban Shadow Shoe is just able to be a menace on the battlefield, and if you, honest to God, do not have an answer to her, she will destroy your team. The injury is actually that scary. And Zahhak was there also just to deal with the Savior Aiden. Oh, boy. That was fun! So, that was a top 100 Guild War. If you could tell by the thumbnail from the last video, yeah, we got absolutely fucking destroyed because our guild is mid as hell. But either way, it was a fun, interesting experiment because I almost never see Urban Shadow Shoe on defense, and pretty much what I was expecting to go into her was pretty much the strategy that I was expecting I would actually be using, which is use our Midnight Gala Lilias. However, very, very good moves on their part. For a lot of the times whenever they used Urban Shadow Shoe, who else was on that team with her? It was going to be Ocean Breeze Luluca. Ocean Breeze Luluca then reacts to the to the non-attack skill passive that Midnight Gala Lilias uses whenever you kill a unit, or just, you know, do more than half health. And then suddenly, then you're going to get hit with, like, you know, blind and silence and shit. So it's like, hey, that's really, really smart on your part there. I guess if I could try to bring in, like, Hwayoung into those shenanigans, but hey, man, what is speed gear? That's kind of like my problem. Like, my Midnight Gala Lilias is fast enough to where, sure, she could be faster. I know some of these, like, other crazy people on the servers have, like, what, 270-something fucking units? Bro, speed doesn't exist on my account. It just doesn't exist. You know what's fast to me? Shit that's like in the 250s. But like, hey, either way, I rather enjoyed this Guild War. It was stressful going into it, or really just looking at the teams that I was going into. A couple of bad plays on my part, really. I could have probably played some of these a lot better, especially those first round matches. But hey, live and learn. We'll get better as we go through it. But hey, if you guys liked this video, I hope you guys liked it. And if you want to, hey, leave a like. It'll make me happy. And if you want to see more of my content, go ahead and hit subscribe. Later.